Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Uh, wait a minute, what? Dude, no way. No, I can't believe that. You're serious. You haven't. Alright. Dude, you haven't played Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers? What's wrong with you? I mean, seriously. What's wrong with you? Just look at you. You're pathetic. I hate you. Let's play this game. Back in the late 1980s and early 90s, there was a time when Disney cartoons thrived. Right after school, I'd get the opportunity to push off homework and hang out with talking animals and vicariously enjoy their adventures. From millionaire ducks to bear pilots, I got the full circle of job variation. But one show stopped me in my tracks, and it pumped me up more than any of the Disney afternoon block cartoons. Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. Naturally, the NES game is my favorite of all the games released from that line of shows. If you're not familiar with what the show is, let me shed some light on it for you. Chip and Dale have their own detective team, who also includes Gadget, Monterey Jack, and Zipper. The truth is, the story is so convoluted and insane, it goes far beyond anything I've seen in a Disney video game. You get to see some of the wackiness in the cutscenes and the dialogue, most of which is easily passed over thanks to the start button. I really wanted to make a point to study some of the dialogue, and what I found was pretty silly. So, right off the bat, you get the choice between 1 or 2 players. And you're going to pick 1 player, because if you have friends like mine,
this is what happens when you play 2-player.
The story starts out simple enough. The Rescue Rangers are on the loose, getting ready to rescue their neighbor Mandy's cat. Gadget decides to go ahead of the group to scatter some things of hers that will help. Now, of course, this is a less predictable way of saying the word kidnapped. Gadget is captured by Fat Cat, the Ranger's arch-nemesis, and it's up to Chip and Dale to rescue her. Chip hands out orders to Zipper and Monterey Jack. Sadly, we never see them hold up their end of the task. While it makes sense to limit the amount of characters that are playable, it is a Nintendo game after all, it makes little sense to not show a few still cutscenes with the characters actually doing their part of the legwork. Chip and Dale steal the show, and while the show does star these two, it'd be nice to see the other characters be something more than just, well, bland, non-playable characters. Nevertheless, the journey begins. Stealing a page from other Disney games, Chip and Dale fight with projectiles of all sorts of shapes and sizes, and they can hide inside them to use as armor, or just simply throw them low, high, or crazy. Spread out across the entire game, you'll find all different types of enemies. This is one of the things that I will say that I really love about this game. There is tons of variety in fighting bad guys, from the aliens that turn into clones of your character, to the mechanical dogs that we see in the show. The game grows to great lengths to give us enemies that we've seen on TV, and new characters we didn't really ever want in the first place.
Hey, what's the big idea of you trashing my game? You think you're so great that you can be a part of the Rescue Rangers? You don't have nothing on us. I can't believe you talk crap about me in the game's game. Well, if Monterey were here, he'd show you a thing or two about stupid game reviewers.
Chip, I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like the game. It's just, there's definitely some problems that really need to be discussed.
Look, even though you think you can come in here and tell me that my story is lame and that my pals aren't the stars, it's called Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers for a damn reason. Now, even though you're going to run your mouth, I want to see your other lame attempts at a video game review.
Here's my only gripe about the enemies. Some of the attacks seem kinda pointless. Check out these bees. They just completely miss me. What was the point of that attack? I mean, I wasn't even trying to dodge and they still missed. Talk about failing Killer Bee Boot Camp. Here's the worst offender in the game. A hawk in a basketball jersey takes 2 hits to bring down. However, a rhino with full-on football gear takes 1 hit. Anybody else see the problem with this? See these pea things? Let's call them pea shakers, because they look like a pepper shaker. In fact, when I was a kid, that's what I thought it was. Well, these are scattered all throughout the game, and they seem completely useless. So, apparently after, 20 years of playing the game the normal way, I didn't even realize that I was picking up the boxes much quicker thanks to the pea icon. So, what's in those pea jars there, buddy?
Locks of Gadget's hair. Don't hate.
This fucking guy. The map in this game is so final with its choices. Here, we get to pick where we want to go, but once you pick your location, forget it. You cannot change your mind, so tread carefully. All the locations are huge worlds for the Rangers to explore. You have casinos, diners, sewers, and trees. You'll find our heroes digging all over the place for clues. The colors and the graphics were beautiful for their time, and the game has that true Capcom flair that fans love. Enemies range from big to small, but the game ran fairly smooth with no major issues. So we learned that Fat Cat has planned to capture Gadget all along. Though why he doesn't just take her instead of the girl's cat makes no sense. Plus on top of that, he keeps the cat regardless. So what is really the point of keeping the cat? We see that Gadget had enough time to sneak away and make a wireless phone. So, a cell phone. You're trying to tell me this mouse is so smart, she created a technology that is the size of a rodent to have wireless conversations? It took 20 years to get this from this to this? And Gadget creates a mobile phone in between being captured by Fat Cat and fiddling with gizmos? You really expect me to believe this? Ridiculous story? This is hot garbage. Alright, so we head to Zone B, which, if you were like me as a kid, you thought it was one of the best levels in the game. Gadget gives important advice. Jumping on the faucets turns the water off, but when I was a kid, I just did this. Thanks, Gadget, but here's the weird thing about these faucets. Why does this faucet turn off a valve above me that I can't see? I mean, logically speaking, turning off this valve will shut off this water, but the one above it? That makes no sense.
Alright, so you've made a few good points, but you're really being nitpicky and nerdy. So while you finish this review, I'm gonna go do a Google image search for Gadget with the filter off.
Do yourself a favor. Don't go to Google Images to search for pictures of Gadget. You'll regret it. Another issue I have with this game is it is way too happy when it comes to 1-ups. At the end of each level, you're pretty much guaranteed an extra life through the bonus stage. Every 10 stars is a 1-up, every 100 flowers brings an extra guy. Really, Capcom, can we flood this title with any more chances at success? The next few levels are really hit or miss. The library is dull. Oh, there's too many boxes! The toy level is one of the best in the game, with loads of fun enemies, challenging platform aspects, and a fairly decent length. Zone E has some fresh ideas that really aren't seen for the rest of the game, such as traversing a moat, using a boat that Gadget left behind, and a hammer to chisel through stone walls. These parts are short but sweet, and I would have liked to see more spread out through the levels. The next level is one of the more difficult to get through, with a platforming part that will take even seasoned gamers a few tries to figure out how to conquer. Finally, we reach the final level on this map, the casino level. This by far is the best, or one of the best levels in the game. It has great music, a solid challenge, and, well, a mediocre boss. So, that's the end of the game. The Rangers return the cat to Mandy? Wait, that's not even a cat. That's a bouquet of flowers. So where's the cat? And hold on a second. Why is Mandy, who I would imagine is a little girl if she owns a cat, the same size as Chip? This frame right here is just full of fail. But Just wait, it gets better. Seriously? Alright, let's review this for a second. This little girl, whose cat was kidnapped and was returned after being magically transformed into a bunch of flowers, was helpless to find the cat, and she owns a rocket ship? Just completely out of nowhere, this girl pulls a rocket ship out of her ass for them to follow Fat Cat. Even better, all they do is go up and back down. I just don't even know what to say anymore to you, Capcom. What were you thinking? Just a lot of the things are completely not believable, even for the Rescue Rangers series, which I've watched, and it's a great show, but it just doesn't make any sense as to why this would be included. Anyways, you traverse a few more stages before taking on the most challenging level in the game, Fat Cat's Factory. There's a few parts that, unless completely memorized, will be a total pain to get through. Be glad you gathered all those extra lives, because you'll need them for Fat Cat. While he isn't necessarily very difficult, he spreads ashes from his cigar in a somewhat random pattern, and it's definitely one of the harder bosses to defeat in this game. Once you do, you've saved the day and showed the world that you are a true Rescue Ranger. Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers was a huge hit for Capcom, and they even developed a sequel later in the Nintendo's life cycle, which came out about 1993. Well, Chip, you've got yourself a pretty good game, but how come you never started any kind of sequels or anything?
Bitch, we got a sequel. It's just crazy expensive on eBay. But we're not playing it. Don't even think about it.
There is a sequel, huh? Well, looks like we'll have to play. Ah!